Hello, sports fans. It is Tuesday, May the 10th, 2016. And as always, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Great to be back with you guys. I have to start with boxing, and I very rarely start with boxing, but I have to start with boxing. Alvarez knocked out Khan over the weekend, which should have been a surprise to no one. Alvarez is a huge favorite in this fight. Khan has no chin. Khan was moving up in weight. I never liked Khan as a fighter. I don't know how this fight was on pay-per-view, but anyway, Alvarez knocks out Khan. So you figure you're going to get Alvarez-Golovkin, coming up pretty soon. Alvarez calls out Golovkin after the fight, saying he's afraid of no man. He's saying, I got to fight Golovkin. Then the next day I'm hearing rumblings that was all for show, that the Alvarez people want nothing to do with Golovkin, that they don't want to kill the cash cow they have in Alvarez. They think Alvarez could lose to Golovkin. Why have him fight Golovkin when he can fight lesser fighters and make a ton of money on pay-per-view? Are you absolutely kidding me? This is the problem with boxing. It's all about pay-per-views, who can make the most money, and avoiding the guys that can beat you or give you a tough fight in the process. Mayweather did this for years. All he was concerned about was his pay-per-views. He never wanted to take on any challengers, never wanted to take on the big fighters. And Alvarez, here we go again. The writing's on the wall. You can see it. I was expecting a big Alvarez-Golovkin fight in the fall, and I'm telling you, I don't think it's going to happen now. I think the Alvarez people are going to steer him away from Golovkin. You know why? Because they're afraid he can lose. They don't want to kill the cash cow. Alvarez can fight basically a grasshopper, in Vegas, and, people will buy it because Alvarez has loyal fans. He has a huge fan base in Mexico, has a huge fan base here in the United States, has a lot of Mexican-American fans. So Alvarez will sell out that new T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas no matter who he fights. You can put him in there against a grasshopper and people will buy it on pay-per-view. That is the problem with boxing. The top guys don't want to fight each other. They want to avoid each other. It's all about, making the most money with the least resistance. Back in the day, the top fighters wanted to fight each other. Hagler wanted to fight Hearns. Hearns wanted to fight Leonard. Leonard wanted to fight Duran. Now these guys just want to avoid each other, cherry pick their fights, make a ton of money, and rob you on pay-per-view. And make no mistake about it, they are robbing you on pay-per-view. Alvarez-Khan was not a pay-per-view fight, and I didn't buy it. I watched it on replay the next day. It's exactly what I thought. Alvarez was going to knock out Khan. Khan has no chin. I don't know who bought that fight and said they got their money's worth. I guess all the loyal Alvarez fans enjoyed it. I guess they wouldn't mind him, beating anyone. They would buy it. But come on. How are we not going to have an Alvarez-Golovkin fight? That is the big fight in boxing. That is the fight that needs to be made right now. Not tomorrow, not a year from now, not 5 years from now. Right now. And you can see the writing on the wall. I hear the rumblings already. They are probably not going to fight. And it's all because the Alvarez people don't want to take on the challenge in Golovkin. They're afraid if he loses, they're going to kill the cash cow. Why not fight some lesser opponent? They can sell out the arena anyway. They can get, 100 million pay-per-view buys or whatever it is. All the loyal fans of Alvarez will buy his fights no matter who he fights. That is the problem with boxing. It needs to be fixed. You have 4 champions in every division. You don't know who's the champion. The belt basically means nothing. There's no real governing body. It is just a complete mess. It's been this way for a long time. Boxing is going down the drain. The heavyweight division is a joke. Do you see the heavyweight champion? Do you see the heavyweight champion? He is overweight and he's the heavyweight champion. Joe Louis would have knocked this guy out in 20 seconds. I mean, the heavyweight division is a disgrace. Boxing is going down the tubes, and that's why most of the younger people love the UFC more than boxing, because the UFC puts on a better show. The top guys want to face each other. I mean, it's not all about pay-per-view buys and, avoiding each other and ducking each other. They want to fight the top guys. The UFC puts on a better show than boxing. Boxing is going down the tubes. I mean, when is the last time there was a really big fight where you said, wow, I really got my money's worth on pay-per-view with this boxing? I can't even remember the last time. It certainly wasn't Mayweather-Pacquiao. That was a snooze fest. I cannot remember the last time I got a pay-per-view fight in boxing and I walked away saying this was a great fight. I cannot remember the last time it was. Boxing going completely down the tubes. Alvarez and Golovkin need to fight now. I don't want any more of this, avoiding each other. I don't want to hear about pay-per-views. I don't want to hear about lesser opponents. They need to fight each other right now. I mean, my goodness, how much is boxing going to just destroy their sport? I mean, how much they're just taking advantage of their fans too. I mean, I really feel sorry for the fans that keep buying these pay-per-views, and I buy a lot of them, but I have not bought all of them lately. I mean, some people I know buy every single pay-per-view. They actually had a goal a few years ago to have Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., not Senior. Senior was a great fighter. Junior on pay-per-views, and I know people that were buying it. How many people, got robbed watching Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. on pay-per-view? Where is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. now? Where is he? I can't even find him. They were putting him on pay-per-view. I mean, unbelievable how they take advantage of their fans boxing. I mean, just a disgrace. Alvarez needs to fight Golovkin now. That fight better happen. I am really annoyed with boxing. Then, on the same note, what do I hear last night? I hear Floyd Mayweather, who's supposed to be retired, by the way, talking about how he wants to face Conor McGregor. Has everyone lost their mind here? It's two different sports. Mayweather's a boxer. Conor McGregor is UFC. What in the world do we want to see these two fight for? And where is it going to be a boxing match? Is it going to be UFC? If it's a boxing match, Mayweather's going to win easy. If it's a UFC match, McGregor's going to win easy. It's two different sports. Two different skill sets. I mean, it's like playing baseball and basketball. It's two different things. We don't need to see. And this is what Mayweather's talking about? Mayweather's another one. For years, cherry-picked his opponent, ducked his opponents. Now he's supposed to be retired. Now, instead of taking a big challenge, maybe Mayweather should fight Golovkin. There's no way he'd go anywhere near him. That's too much of a risk for him. He wants to fight Conor McGregor, I'm sure, in a boxing match, and Conor McGregor just lost his first UFC fight. I mean, his last UFC fight. Now Mayweather wants to fight Conor McGregor? I mean, give me a break. And Conor McGregor, if you lost your mind, what are you doing? You had an aura of invincibility at 145 pounds. You should have stayed there. There were big fights to be made. You had a huge win against Aldo. What do? You rush into the next fight off that fight. You go up two different weight classes to 170, a weight class you have no business being. You get knocked out by Diaz, and you figure you're going to go back down and weight. No, you want to fight Diaz again at a 170, but then you don't want to do the promotions, so you get pulled from UFC 200. You still want to fight Diaz now. You're going to lose your belt at 145, and now I hear you might fight Mayweather. Has everyone lost their mind? Has Conor McGregor lost his mind? Has Mayweather lost his mind? Boxing, we know, in general's lost its mind. What in the world is going on here? Alvarez needs to fight Golovkin. Period. Mayweather, stay retired. Period. McGregor, either go down to 145 and defend your belt, or fight Diaz at 170 and do the promotion. You love talking, now all of a sudden you don't like the promotions? Let's get it together. These guys just drive you crazy. McGregor, Mayweather, Alvarez, get it together already. I can't stand any more of this. I mean, I couldn't believe the people talking about Alvarez Khan over the weekend. When I turned on ESPN, they were talking like this was the fight of the century coming up. Khan is not a good fighter. He's got no chin. He had no chin in a lesser weight class. He was definitely going to get knocked out in this fight. Did anyone think this was a surprise? I mean, come on. I was actually in the supermarket the other day, and I was talking sports to one of my neighbors, and he was telling me what a great fight this was going to be. I said to him, are you out of your mind? You're going to buy this fight? You think Khan's going to put up a great fight? The guy has no chin. Give me a break. Great fight? I mean, oh my goodness, what planet are some of these people on? So I'm totally infuriated with boxing. I mean, I have been for a while, but it's really getting impossible to be a fan of the sport. And then this whole Mayweather-McGregor thing. I mean, come on. It's two different sports. And do I really think Mayweather is going to go into the UFC? No, Mayweather wants this to be a boxing match against McGregor, and McGregor would have absolutely no shot. That's typical Mayweather. I mean, oh my goodness. Mayweather, stay retired. Alvarez, Golovkin, you fight. And Conor McGregor, go down to 145 and defend your belt. Or fight Diaz at 170 and do the promotion already. Enough is enough. Get it together. Oh my goodness. Anyway, that's my little rant of the day. I had to get that off my chest. Let's go over to the basketball. Golden State leads Portland 3-1. Curry comes back yesterday. He scores 40 points. He goes nuts in overtime. 17 points in overtime. Golden State is going to win this series. I mean, Curry just gets on these streaks where he just cannot be stopped from the three-point line. By the way, all the rules in current basketball favor the perimeter guys. You can't touch these perimeter guys. I was thinking of the old Detroit bad boy teams, the way they play defense. I mean, they would, in this day and age, they would all foul out trying to guard these guys. I mean, everything is a foul on the perimeter. You can't touch these guys now. So the way the rules are made really helps a team like Golden State with their great perimeter play. You can't touch these guys at all. Golden State up 3-1 there. They're going to close out Portland the next game. San Antonio and Oklahoma City 2-2. Back to San Antonio we go. That's a very good series. Cleveland has already swept Atlanta, so they're going to be waiting around a while. They will play the winner of Miami and Toronto. That is 2-2. Both of those teams, the walking wounded, a lot of injuries. When all's said and done, and I said it at the beginning of the year, it's probably going to be Golden State and Cleveland again, and if Curry's healthy, it's going to be Golden State again. The best team in the NBA usually wins. Look at the way the playoffs have gone. Have there been any upsets in any round? This is exactly the teams you thought would be here at this point. Not a lot of drama in the NBA. Only a few really good teams. So I've been down on the NBA also. I mean, I know a lot of people love the NBA. They get on me for this, but the NBA has only a few good teams, and the best team usually wins. There's not a lot of drama in this at all. So that's the NBA. Now, the NHL I find a lot more fascinating. Penguins lead the Capitals 3-2. Back to Pittsburgh we go tonight in a huge game. Pittsburgh can close it out. If they don't, we go to Washington for Game 7. Washington has blown a million 3-1 leads in their history. Can they now reverse it and come back from 3-1? How about Tampa Bay? Dusted the Islanders 4-1, won the last four, and they're doing it without one of their best players, Stamkos. Great job by Tampa Bay. As far as the West, we have 2 Game 7s coming up. San Jose and Nashville are 3-3. Back to San Jose we go. Nashville won in overtime yesterday. And Dallas and St. Louis 3-3. Back to Dallas we go, as Dallas had a huge win in St. Louis. You're going to have a lot of drama in the NHL. 2 Game 7s. You have the big Game 6 with Pittsburgh tonight. A lot of drama in the NHL. As far as baseball, real quick. As far as the American League, the teams that are playing really well right now in the American League, Baltimore, the White Sox, Boston, and Seattle. I've been impressed with all those teams. Teams that are playing okay, mediocre, Texas, Cleveland, Toronto, and Tampa Bay, they've kind of been mediocre. And the teams that have been playing bad baseball, the Yankees, they have won 3 out of 4, but they're still playing bad. Kansas City, they have a real World Series hangover. Detroit not playing well. Minnesota 8-23, awful. Oakland not playing well. Angels not playing well. Houston 13-20. A lot of people picked them to win the World Series, awful. As far as the National League, Cubs are playing lights out right now. Mets are playing great ball. Washington's playing good. Philly's got to be the surprise of baseball. They've been really pesky this year. And the Marlins are starting to play good ball despite Gordon being suspended for 80 games. So nice job by the Marlins. Teams that are playing okay, Pittsburgh and St. Louis, kind of mediocre. And the whole National League West is around 500. The Giants, Dodgers, Arizona, and Colorado, all in mediocrity. I think all 4 of those teams are within 1 game of the division. Teams that are playing bad baseball, San Diego, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, no surprise there, and Atlanta, 7-23. I don't think we've seen a Brave team be this bad. They are dreadful. They can't hit any home runs. So that's where you are in baseball. Kentucky Derby, of course, the favorite one for the 4th straight year. Preakness in 2 weeks. There you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. Enjoy the games tonight, especially that Penguin Capital game. That should be tremendous drama from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh trying to close it out. Washington trying to send it to a Game 7. back in Washington. You guys, thanks as always for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. If you're betting the games, pick a lot of winners, make a lot of money. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care.